Thanks for staying with us. In this segment, we have the Managing Director, CEO, and that's the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors, and still the official spokesman for all discos. Let me explain what that means. It means that all the discos, the people that are giving you electricity, now he be the Managing Director.
You voice.
So he's your man. He's the person we should be talking to. Otumba Sunday Oduton. He will be speaking on the incessant collapse of gridlock back-to-back, energy theft, and effects on Nigerians and much more. Welcome to the show, Otumba.
Thank you very much.
How is? Morning. Congratulations on your new role as the CEO of all the discos. It's good to have you. The very first thing all Nigerians are asking, I know this is not under your direct purview, but as the Managing Director, you should have information on why the Nigerian national grid keeps collapsing. Is it time for us to privatize this grid?
Can we change the grid?
Can we change the grid? God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I was here in 2015, September, on this program. And one of the things we discussed that time was the issue of national grid and the fact that in the value chain, generation is largely private, distribution is largely private, but transmission in the middle is 100% government. Okay. So that's the problem on its own. If you have a child that you cannot train very well or that you cannot manage, it's time for you to give that child up for adoption. The child can still be bearing your father's name, but he will come back in future and be a fantastic graduate with a good job. But that's not really directed at the people in TCN. The TCN is more like us expecting a 50-year-old car to perform like Mariah's new Jeep. You can't get that fine, good performance from such an old car compared with a brand new car. In other words, for the first time, we have a TCN Managing Director who came out and sincerely informed Nigerians less than 48 hours ago that indeed their equipments are out of date. In the past, we have had, even here in TVC on this morning program, a few years ago, a TCN Managing Director coming here to tell us stories, things like our capacity is the best, we are not the weakest link, and so on. So it is not time to start blaming, naming, and claiming. It is time to begin to look at solutions on what we can do to solve the problem. Yes, I'm aware, in the last 10 years, the grid has collapsed 105 times. 105. So before Nima start talking about that, I've said it now. So yes, we know. We're not proud of that. We're not happy it is happening. Remember, we're siblings. Generation, transmission, and distribution. Whatever happens to one affects the other. Okay. Thank God, at least I can say that now. As of this morning, all the of you ladies on this program this morning, the four of them, they have light. Which means we've tried, even in the midst of this difficulty, we've tried to improve our service and give you something for your money. That is not to say we are where we are supposed to be. That is not to say that we're efficient enough. That's not to say that we are serving you the way we would like to serve you.
So, questions for you, because I know lots of ladies want to ask questions. Who would like to jump in here? Mariam?
Yeah, so I know you mentioned the fact that the TCN is... There's a bit there's a bit of struggle there. Yeah. But my concern is it for lack of funds or is it lack of management? You know, so we know what are we trying to address? Is it that, okay, maybe when if they now give it up for adoption, you will now get injection of fund? Because I know that was the thought we had with generation as well as distribution. And even though we gave it for adoption, Nigerian government has had to consistently seem to subsidize and support and fund and bail out the same child that we felt we should put on adoption. So is it a lack of fund or management?
Okay, in fairness to the investors in generation and distribution, let me quickly correct this persistent impression that government has had to come and add money, bail out, do this, do that. Government is a shareholder of the disco, so we run it together, they own 40%. That's number one. Government opted to be subsidizing the cost of your electricity Today, only Band A customers are paying in a patriotic way the true cost of electricity. All others, Band B, Band C, Band D, Band E, the Nigerian government is still paying 67% of your cost. So what you are talking about all those bailouts, all these things, was the fact that they made a promise to pay subsidy to fill the shortfall created by them, and they didn't. So it got to a point that they had to come in and bail it out. So it is not them helping my investors. Please, let's be fair on them.
Debts.
They are paying, yes, their obligation. You promised to pay subsidy, you didn't pay, and I'm talking about 2013, and this thing transcends government or president or who is in power. It's about Nigerian problem since more than 50 years ago. And what you failed to do in 1986, we catch up with you in 2026. That is what we are grappling with. But that's not the issue. The issue now is this. When you mention what are the problems, I can tell you that TCN, they have tried in recent years. There have been some investment in transmission. The only problem is that the investment is just not enough yet, because what has happened in the past has been so bad, and the capacity of the TCN needs to be expanded. You cannot charge your phone with potato. You just say that the phone is not charging. There are a lot of things that you cannot do if you don't put other things in place. So they are making effort. And when I spoke about adoption earlier on, I can tell you that what the government is trying to do now, which I think is a step in the right direction, the last 1 week, what they are trying to do now is to unbundle TCN and take out what the department calls system operator to what is now going to be known as Nigerian Independent System Operator to manage and stabilize the grid. So the moment that is done, more investment will come and things will get better. So again, efforts are being made. Even those people in the TCN who are in TCN, we cannot blame them 100% for what is going on. But that is not to say that all of us are not to blame.
Let's come back to your own area. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to, let's just talk about the grid.
Because if that's not your area, I don't want you to answer something that is done, but go ahead.
No, but he has some information. So you've just talked about managing and stabilizing the grid, but you also mentioned the fact that we have infrastructure that is really old.
Yes.
What can be done? So if I've created this body that is supposed to manage and stabilize this infrastructure that is dilapidated, what exactly do we expect will happen from that? What will be the positives?
First of all, I want to say that, indeed, the buck stops on the table of the president. The president needs to be told the truth. The president needs to inquire. The president needs to see things. The president actually needs to step out of the box and listen to people from outside his immediate environment, government, from outside the government. Because even when you invest, follow the money. Let somebody track whatever we say we are trying to do. Because the problem is enormous. And you see, it's not enough to just release funds for anything in Nigeria. It's also very important to know that the fund is used for, I'll give you an example. Go and find out how much a Land Cruiser costs, official car, and find out how many transformers you can buy with one brand new Land Cruiser, the cost of that. So there are so many things that we need to put in place. So the solution should be our focus. Like I said, the independent system operator, once that comes on stream, they need to put in place an equipment called SCADA. We've been on this. I mentioned this in 2016 on this program. 2016, no. Now, SCADA is supervisory control and data acquisition. That's an equipment that enables TCN to monitor the whole line real time. So if anything is happening, they will know. The another problem is that Nigerian transmission grid is radial in nature. Again, I mentioned this here in 2020 on your view. Radial in nature means it goes straight. There's no loop. Now, what happened yesterday, the collapse was because in Jeba, there was an explosion. One of the transformers in Jeba exploded. So the load dropped and the grid collapsed. Normally, if there is a loop in our transmission system, Once there's problem with Jeba, a press of the button will isolate that problem, that power will go around to another place, and they will be able to stabilize the grid. That's another thing we don't have. I had the MD of TCN say it's now 70%. They say that 70% completed, I hope, because we had about 80% before from TCN. It was not the MD that time. 2019, one MD told us 80% completed. 2024, 70% completed. I hope it is.
All right, let's come back
now,
to
the next thing,
issues.
I must mention that we need to have spinning reserve. But again, when you don't even generate enough, how can you have extra? It's like having 4 children, enough 4 plates of food for 4 children. They now say, have an extra, like another 5th plate. Keep that by the side. Anytime there's more demand for food, bring it in immediately. That's what is called spinning reserve. Again, we don't have that. So whenever there's more demand for electricity and it's affecting the frequency of the grid, because they have minimum and maximum. Once it goes down or goes up beyond maximum or below minimum, the grid will collapse. These are the kind of problems that we have.
The reason why I wanted to also talk on distribution, because Nigerians are able to understand that. I mean, TCN is becoming a bit complex for the average Nigerian to understand. We know we talk a lot about band A, but there's B, C, D, E. Yes. I want you to give us an update on those other bands. Okay. I know that there was the issues of maybe certain hours of electricity. How is that going? Are they getting the electricity? Do we have, what's going on in that area? Just give us an update.
Okay, I'll start with the hours. If you are on band A, we try to give you a minimum of 20 hours to 24 hours. So you have 20 to 24 hours, band A. And government is not paying any subsidy on you. That is why your tariff jumped from about 68 naira all the way to 209. It was even 226, came down to 202 or 4, then 209, depending on Forex. If you're on band B, we're able to give you between 16 and 19 hours. And if you ask me, recently we've been trying to, when we started this band thing, band A customers were only 16% of our known customers. I use the word known because some customers we don't know the legal connections. Now, 16%, but now we're inching towards 20%. Because what we're doing is migrating people from band B to band A. What happens is that once we can give the power to a particular community or an area, we are mandated by law, by a regulator, to migrate them. And when you hear band A simply means we are inching towards providing 24-hour electricity. So a time is coming, and I need to say this in advance, when everybody will be on band A. So band B, 16 to 19 hours. Band C, 12 to 15 hours. Band D, 18 to 11 hours. Band E, we expect you to get
8 to 11.
8 to 11 is band D.
Yes.
And band E, mainly rural. Band E, between 4 and 7 hours. Now, the question, are they getting the power? Of course, if you are in those bands, from band B to band E, you are not paying through the true cost of electricity. You are being subsidized by the government. 67% of your money is being paid. That means you are even paying less than half of what you should be paying. So this tariff is called service-based tariff. I'll give you a tariff that's based on the service I can provide for you. So my priority is band A customers because they are the one paying. The other ones that I talk about subsidy, government is not even paying those subsidies. So it's one thing to talk about subsidy, it's another thing for the money to be paid. They want to pay, they try to pay, but the country is broke, many things are going on, let's be real. So band B to band E, we try to give them the hours that they, and anytime we are not able, I know of an estate in Abuja, I live in the estate, we were on band A, but now we're on band B. We're on band B because the disco could not, and they will be heavily fined by the regulator if they fail to meet the threshold. And please, though, when we talk about band A, we are not saying that, like in Mariah House, where we're going to give you, every day, we guarantee that we'll give you 20 hours, or we say 24 hours every day. In a 30-day period, because with the grid collapse, don't ask me, are you going to give me money back, or I didn't have light. Yeah, you won't have light. But with that, we'll still compensate you by ensuring those days that you have 24 hours, Mariah, count it with the day of 0, like 2 days ago. So we'll put it all together. It will still come back to between 20
so
and
still
24.
You our fight
will not finish.
I'm a realist. I know.
No, on this particular, you see, I was waiting since the place I want, you've reached it.
Yes.
You are saying that it is not guaranteed for a month, but because if you one day in a month, you give me 24 hours, I qualify as band.
Not that.
Then you did not meter me, oh. Now that you did not meter me, you will now calculate what you assume to have given me. Okay. Bring it.
Anybody who is not metered
today, in band days,
that person does not want to be metered.
No, I do not.
Meters are available, and there are clear-cut rules on how.
But you cannot say you cannot sit here and say it as if it is like that, because even I have applied for clients' properties I manage. I have applied for my businesses. Just this last year, I know what I see on this meter issue. When you are even willing to pay, you will still pay through your nose and go through the stress of getting your meter.
So you see,
you will still have to influence because you know somebody to get your meter.
We don't have
How easy
is
it to be metered?
It is easy to be metered today. It was difficult to be metered way back in February. Why? The meter suppliers are not part of the disco or the value chain. They are external third-party companies, just like Topwest companies. They are just businessmen, right? But by law, the regulator fixed the cost of meter at every point in time. The cost, by the time dollar went up so much against the naira, their landing cost was higher than the amount they were supposed to charge for meter. So they stopped supplying. They had to have meetings with a regulator. At the end of the day, stakeholders, everybody, they now agreed, and then they increased. That's why you saw the increase in the price of meter. And then they started bringing in. And let me also add, foreign exchange affects metering and other components in the power sector because Nigeria, as of today, does not produce any chip. When they say they manufacture meter in Nigeria, they still have to import some chips from abroad. That is dollar. Until we do Ajaokuta, and I keep saying, until this country becomes a producing nation, we'll continue to rely on imported goods. And as long as you are relying on imported goods, then that means foreign exchange is very important. Don't let us be emotional or be sentimental about it. As long as we are not ready to grow what we eat, to eat what we grow, to export more than import, we'll continue to pay quite a lot of money for it.
Based on what you have said, do we then have, why can't we just walk to Mojek, and what's the other one, and apply for meter for the discos where we live? Okay. Why do we then have to pay through the disco companies only for them to wait before your application is through and tell you that something has affected pricing? If, for instance, I can walk into Mojek and buy my meter, Mojek can tell me, we were selling 2 naira yesterday, it's now 5 naira. Okay. But when I have applied and paid 65 naira for a single phase, and then I'm waiting months on end, you're now saying you're in discussion with Mojek because meter money have gone up.
Okay, thank you. Good question. Number one, Mojek or Momas or the other manufacturers, they manufacture or supply meters, but they cannot sell to you directly because they do not have access to the IT backup of the discos, and Eko is different from Benin, Benin is different from Ikeja. So the point I'm making is that meters are calibrated and programmed to your name, to your address. That is why you cannot take a meter from Lagos to use in Abeokuta. So it's not a question of just going to buy it off the shelf. We wish that can happen. If that happens, it is in our interest because you go and buy your thing, but it cannot work like that. So that is why that one is just not possible. We've looked at all of this, and the last time I checked, you're a lawyer.
I'm going to argue
that you're an engineer. Knows that you're a lawyer.
Or IT specialist.
Okay, let's go. I'll come back to him, but let me next talk about jumping in.
So I have two quick questions. First one is an observation. I feel that since they declared Band A, you know, we've had light in the special offer before Band A. When they declared Band A, all discos rushed into creating more Band A's, and the quality of light available to Band A reduced. And as they increase the number of band-aid, we seem to have increased the number of shutdowns or increase the number of not meeting up that 20, the 20 we're supposed to have every day. This is personal observation that I have recorded over time. And I realize we're declaring more because the more band-aid you declare, the more money comes directly from clients into Disco's account, as opposed to waiting for governments who does not have money to then give you the subsidized 61% from their end. I would like you to approve or disapprove, which I know you will want
Thank
to
you very much,
and defend.
Thank you. Number one, Discos cannot, do not, have never gone ahead to just rush to move people to band A. Disco's duty is when the regulators say, like recently, Surulere, Masha, precisely, Adelabu, Masha, Aguda. The regulator found out from Disco if they could migrate them from B to A, if they can provide the service, then they approve. Once they approve, we move in, and the people started protesting. They said they don't want Band-Aid. But 10 years ago, there were the same people telling me on different programs that, give us light, we will pay. Now we are giving you light, you are saying you don't want. You have to want, you have to have it. It is not optional. If we bring Band-Aid to your area, your option is to say you don't want light. Come and carry your wire. Then we disconnect you. You can use your generator or your inverter. But in terms of the quality of supply, well, I'm hearing that for the first time, but I know that it is something I will want to inquire further to know, because it's not to just disprove and say, you know, that's what I can say on that.
Let me take this call. I'm holding for a while. Akin from Akute, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, well done, well done. I am enjoying your program. Please, I want to clarify from the MD that they want to phase out 1 meter. And the government has asked them to replace the meter instead of putting us in darkness. And the meter is working perfectly. I don't know why they want to phase it out. I want to ask the MD.
Okay, all right, MD.
Thank you. Meters have lifespan. So meter is an instrument of measurement. It's a kind of technology that allows you to measure consumption. So every meter is supposed to be alive for only 10 years. After 10 years, the integrity of every single meter is in doubt. It may either run fast or slow. The carburetor in your car, if you buy a brand new Mercedes today, the carburetor have a lifespan. Everything, the battery of your brand new car, my brand new car, the battery in that car surely cannot last for more than 10 years. You have to buy a new battery. Yet we are talking of a new car. That's the way the thing works. So not that they want to phase out. I think our people too need to give more explanation. This is the kind of thing that will make known to all the MDCOs of this.
Is new.
That people need to give
there's an important question about transformer that I have to ask, because it's very important. And I know YK is also saying that her own transformer was recently blown. She said that she didn't, well, now she said she has the, initially she was saying that, tell we don't have light because transformer blew out. Now, she says that, to be honest, they have electricity.
Yes.
And they do inverter between, I think, between solar between 10 to 10 p.m. But when a transformer blows up, how easy and how fast can it get replaced for communities? Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you on this. Not everybody will be happy with this point I'm going to make, even within the discourse. If you are in Band-Aid and anything happens to your equipment, we'll be very fast in replacing it.
She's Band-Aid?
We'll do it quickly. As long as they have reported, again, information need to get to those who are, and on this I was stepping. I know where she lives, Alagbule. Now, if anything happened to your transformer anywhere in Nigeria, be it in Binikebi, Port Harcourt, Ilorin, or Eko,
it's done.
Even if you are in band C or D or E, we are ready to do it. But the first thing we do is to check the transformer on our system. The question we ask ourselves, is there any debt on this transformer? Recently, somewhere in Ogba, they called me regarding a transformer. We checked. They have a debt of 8 million naira. Why should Ikeja Electric or any disco go and reinvest in a transformer in an area where there are perpetual debtors? Go and pay your debt or go and fix your transformer. And anybody can say anything on this. We have to be truthful. We have to be honest. Because you cannot continue to them.
We are out of time. Something happened
for maintenance.
After you buy it.
Something happened between, there were 28 grid collapse between 2018 and 2020. But suddenly in 2020 to 2023, it just reduced drastically. Yes. What happened within that period that now went bad again?
Better maintenance. That was when we started the issue, the era of the beginning of the cement program. Okay. When you start bringing in big transmission transformers, during Mr. Fashola's time, a lot of efforts were made to improve the transmission grid. And of course, all through, what I hope is that we should consistently continue to do that. Maintenance is one of those things. Doing the right thing is one of those things. And of course, once we do what is right, we'll get the right result. That's the issue. I
need you to address Nima's question. As once you pay for that transformer, that means they hand over to the discos because for maintenance, right?
You hand it over. You do a document.
Oh, okay. No, I've explained this before. Nima, maybe you are not on duty that day, and you are a lawyer. And I remember when I was chief legal advisor and company secretary at Ibadan Disco, at the point of privatization, I brought this on board in Ibadan because we had an electrocution incident in Oshogbo, and they sued us. And when I investigated as chief legal advisor of the company, I found out that an electrician just went to an injection substation to do repairs, and she died. Now they are asking us to pay 5 million, which we paid. And I said, okay, we should put in place a system that will not enable any community to be tampering or doing anything on the transformer.
That's not
once you purchase, hold on. Once you purchase a transformer through communal effort, and there are two ways of doing that. One is you buy it without telling anybody. Thank you very much for the donation. That's regarded as a donation. But if before you purchase, you write to NEC, you write to your local disco, once they approve, you get your money back through credit. But when you don't tell them, you just go and buy. We thank you very much, we shake your hand. But either way, the disco, once the transformer is energized, it belongs to the disco.
We need to go.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up. We have to bring you back again because we have not finished. I brought you earlier, so that's all we can take on today's show. Thank you very much, Otuma, for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you.